You are listening to the Daily Homily for Magdala in the Holy Land.
Jesus said to his disciples, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body thrown into Gehenna. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body go into Gehenna. It was also said, whoever divorces his wife must give her a bill of divorce. But I say to you, whoever divorces his wife unless the marriage is unlawful causes her to commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
In a way, the psalm connects the two readings of the Book of Kings and the Gospel of Matthew in these texts we have today, and especially in the responsorial verse we just prayed. I long to see your face, O Lord. And the psalmist is calling out, have pity on me, answer me. And then later, your presence, O Lord, I seek. To live in God's presence is a wonderful thing. And this is what Elijah reaches at Mount Sinai. He is looking in the great tempest. He is looking in the earthquake. He is looking in the fire. And God was not in those, but God was in a gentle breeze. And he heard a tiny whispering sound. God comes gently, God doesn't overwhelm him. Quite contrary to Elijah's treatment of the 450 prophets of Baal we heard about yesterday. God comes with great gentleness to every soul. He tries to encourage our freedom to wake up, to be alert, to respond, to be generous. We all know in family life the stubborn child that's throwing a tantrum. And the parents have to be genius of human relationships to get that child to turn around and to want even to play or to want ice cream or something, because there is so much revolt and rebellion in that heart. And maybe we all have these tantrums we throw at God. We throw at His work in our lives. And so, I long to see your face, O Lord, is also parallel to the tantrum, or it's inside it, but we want to control everything. We want to dictate the terms. And so Elijah dictated the terms with the slaughter of the 450 false prophets, and now he's running for his life. Jezebel, the wife of Ahab, has promised to neutralize him in 24 hours after he did that. So that's why he fled. And it's a long story, a long trip down to Mount Sinai. But when he gets there, God says, "What are you doing here? I didn't call you. Go back the way you came. Why are you here? What do you want?" And he said, "I've been most zealous for the Lord. I'm the only one left." And God said, "I have a whole slew of people who are faithful to me. They're keeping their heads low. I'm working quietly with them. I'm strengthening their hearts. They're growing strong." Sometimes people look out at the world today and we're tempted to think that everything is kaput, destroyed, broken down. But how many souls is God whispering to? How many souls are opening their freedom to God's work, that they can be completely transformed by His grace? This is amazing. I love these readings also for another reason. The first reading mentions a place called Abel Meholah. And if we drive down to Jericho from here along the Jordan Valley, just south of Bet Shean, there are 3 or 4 signposts for Meholah. So this is where Elisha was plowing with the yoke of oxen when Elijah catches up with him. Maybe we will have that in a reading in the next few days. And there he has the 12 yoke of oxen, right? And then with Jesus' words today, he also speaks about Gehenna, this valley around the Gehenna Valley, the west side and the south side of Jerusalem, going into the Kidron Valley. And there are various understandings about that valley, and one of them was the garbage place, burning fire, smelly, dirty, vermin, unsavory place. You wouldn't bring your family there for a Sunday picnic. A horrible place, an image for hell, But also it's the place of the human sacrifices done by the Jerusalemites. Also even tolerated by the kings, maybe even participated. And people say in pious Jewish tradition that this is the cause, this human sacrifice, of the exile to Babylon. And so here we have this image is still alive hundreds of years later, and it's an image of hell. It's not where we want to be. And that's very strong language that Jesus is using. And we know that the 10 commandments include a commandment about not committing adultery. Number 6, we know that not coveting your neighbor's wife. Those are very strong language. But it's not about the physical respect of these norms. Jesus says it goes deeper in the heart. And that's why we chose the prayers today for Mass, for the virtue of chastity. That God will strengthen in us and renew in us and the virtue of chastity, of that consecration of our wonderful bodily potential for sexual life and sexual union, and sometimes in some sectors of our society, entertainment, advertising, and other areas, it's really gone into an area of out of control, decadence. I think it's not unreasonable to say that abuse, and also unfortunately within the ranks of not only the baptized but also the ordained, and so many great occasions of hurt from that have been produced. And what's going to change our hearts? It's grace. And we have that wonderful line just a few days ago from the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount, in which we're still reading, when Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure of heart, they will see God." That includes also other attachments to material things, to our own ego, that purity of heart, but it also includes chastity, that wonderful gift that allows us to live in great harmony and serenity, the total consecration of our heart according to God's plan for our concrete lives. And so I long to see your face, O Lord. Chastity plays a big part in being united to God. Also humility and other virtues. But in this case, because of the readings, we can ask for that grace today.
Thank you for joining us today. If you want to learn more about Magdala, follow us on YouTube and on Facebook.